1228 1228. Chapter 1228. The 4-star domain competition. I must secure a spot. Meng Gang's reward was 1,500 military merits, while Yu Zhu, Wang Zhenghao, and Rong Jie each received 1,000 military merits. Lin and his team did not put in much effort this time, so they were quite satisfied with these rewards. Yu Zhu's eyes sparkled as she stared at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu smiled and said,
I have a bit more military merit than you, and besides that, there are contribution points.
Lin Moyu had previously realized that military supply points were extraordinary, so he did not mention them in public. He communicated with Murong Bafang using soul transmission, so Yu Zhu and the others were unaware of the existence of military supply points. Lin Moyu had no intention of telling them now. This was his secret, something he had risked his life to obtain. Only he knew how dangerous it was when facing the Golden Source Star. Yu Zhu was smart enough not to ask for specific numbers. She knew that Lin Moyu had more military merits than she did, but the exact amount was not important. Her eyes sparkled.
You've gained more contribution points again. Your ranking on the contribution list will rise.
She opened the contribution list and found Lin Moyu's name. His ranking had risen from 3rd to 2nd. Contribution points were hard to come by, and the top few rankings were separated by just 1 or 2 points. Lin Moyu's additional point naturally raised his ranking. At this moment, Lin Moyu felt an invisible force passing through the void and reaching him. The power of faith. The power of faith had always existed. As the master of a small world, Lin Moyu had never been without the power of faith from his small world. However, the population of the small world was too small, especially the number of cultivators, which was very low and of low levels. So, the power of faith was negligible compared to the big world. Later, he gained the 1st place on the potential list and received a portion of the power of faith from the big world, but it was still not much. Now, as his ranking on the contribution list continued to rise, the power of faith he received gradually increased. Many cultivators in the big world regarded those on the lists as idols and targets to chase. This power of faith, as long as it was abundant, could be quite useful to the recipient. For the contributors, it cost nothing. This is one reason why the human race considers the power of faith as a source of power. However, it seemed unlikely that just rising from 3rd to 2nd on the contribution list would cause such a change in the power of faith. Lin Moyu had a thought and opened the combat power list. On the combat power list, his name had risen sharply from 35th to 10th, making it into the top 10. Lin Moyu knew that this mission had revealed his combat power. Based on his description of the mission and Meng Hongshan's description of him, the Human Emperor Network could estimate his approximate combat power. Making it into the top 10 on the combat power list, combined with rising to 2nd on the contribution list, naturally caused a change in the power of faith. At this point, the power of faith he received from the big world had surpassed that from the small world and would continue to grow stronger. Lin Moyu sensed the power of faith and found it still insufficient and not very effective, so he gave up. Yu Zhu noticed his silence and asked curiously,
What's wrong?
With the mission over, Yu Zhu no longer called Lin Moyu captain. Lin Moyu shook his head lightly.
Nothing, I need to submit the mission.
He had also taken on a battlefield mission, and now that his military rank had been promoted, he needed to submit the battlefield mission. Meng Gang said,
We won't go this time. If there's a chance in the future, we'll carry out missions with you again.
He saluted Lin Moyu, standing straight with respect in his eyes. This was the highest military courtesy, indicating that he was completely convinced by Lin Moyu. Behind him, Wang Zhenghao and Rong Jie also stood straight and saluted Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu returned the salute.
Take care.
Leaving the military merit office, Yu Zhu whispered,
I need to go back to the trading center. If you want to sell anything, remember to find me.
Lin Moyu smiled.
I'll be there soon. You can prepare when you get back.
This time, he had killed so many enemies and collected countless items, including a large amount of golden source. Yu Zhu smiled brightly.
I'll be waiting for you at the trading center.
The trading center was as bustling as ever. Lin Moyu quietly stood at the end of the line, waiting to submit his mission. He overheard people talking about him.
Do you know? Our Vermilion Bird domain has produced another genius. Of course, it's that guy named Lin Moyu, right? Yes, that's him. First on the potential list, second on the contribution list, 10th on the combat power list. Amazing! Indeed, he might become the first in all three lists. Hopefully, he gets stronger. Then, in the 4-star domain competition, our Vermilion Bird domain will shine. Yes, at least we won't be as embarrassed as last time.
Lin Moyu's ears twitched. He seemed to have seen something about the 4-star domain competition somewhere. It should be in some document, but he hadn't paid much attention to it at the time. He quickly found information about the 4-star domain competition through the Human Emperor Network. Every 100 years, the 4 major star domains of the human race hold a competition. The top 100 in the competition can directly enter the Divine City without any chain mission restrictions.
Anyone who is a member of the human race can sign up for the competition. The last competition was 95 years ago, and the next one is in 5 years. Last time, the Vermilion Bird domain ranked last, with only 8 spots in the top 100, and they were all ranked low. It was indeed embarrassing.
Lin Moyu smiled slightly. If he participated in this competition, he would definitely secure one of the 100 spots. Half an hour later, it was finally Lin Moyu's turn. He stepped forward to submit the mission and received 3,000 points and 10 military merits as a reward. Half an hour later, it was finally Lin Moyu's turn. He stepped forward to submit the mission and received 3,000 points and 10 military merits as a reward. 1,000 pounds of golden source was just a drop in the bucket compared to what Lin Moyu had obtained this time. He had killed nearly 100,000 gold-eating beasts, each leaving behind about 100 pounds of golden source. The mission requirement was only the amount from 10 gold-eating beasts. In addition to the golden source obtained from various people, Lin Moyu had lost count of the total amount. He just kept collecting without counting. After submitting the mission, Lin Moyu headed to the trading center. He needed to clear his storage space and exchange for enough points and military merits. Lin Moyu's points had already reached with 236,850 from missions, and the rest from other sources, which could not be used to upgrade his permission level. However, for any cultivator, nearly 80 million points were not a small amount. His military merits had reached 22,676. After completing the military merit promotion mission, Lin Moyu was now a solid second-rank officer. After this transaction, he might become a third-rank officer. Just as he reached the entrance of the mission center, a middle-aged man was standing there quietly. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed slightly, and he quickly walked over. 1229, 1229. Chapter 1229. The Betrayed God, the Bewitching Demon. In the dark starry sky, light from distant stars provided a faint glow. A small warship was swiftly traversing the starry sky. Its movement was like a fish leaping out of the sea, each leap covering billions of kilometers. This was a god-level warship, its value comparable to the War God Fortress. In the Vermilion Bird Star domain, there were only 3 such warships. One was in Zhu Tian's hands, another with the Vermilion Bird Branch Hall Master of the War God Hall, and the last one was with Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu looked at the ever-changing starry sky ahead and said lightly,
"The laws here are chaotic, so this is the best speed we can manage."
Lin Moyu, standing beside Zhu Qiwu, twitched his mouth slightly. This speed was only a bit slower than a teleportation array. For such a high-level warship, if not in a battlefield, each leap could cover several light-years. Lin Moyu had met Zhu Qiwu after leaving the mission center, and Zhu Qiwu had clearly come to find him specifically. Zhu Qiwu then brought him here, to this unfamiliar starry sky. Zhu Qiwu asked,
"Do you know which war zone this is?"
Lin Moyu shook his head, thinking to himself that he had no idea. It was definitely not the first war zone, as one could still vaguely sense the Human Emperor network there, but here the connection was completely severed. The starry sky here was filled with a profound aura, and the laws were different from ordinary starry skies. Zhu Qiwu chuckled, his eyes clearly saying,
Aren't you quite capable?
He continued,
Do you know why I brought you here?
Lin Moyu shook his head again.
Just tell me directly.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
Take a guess.
Lin Moyu thought for a moment.
This should be one of the 3 war zones in the 7th sector.
He watched Zhu Qiwu's expression as he spoke, but Zhu Qiwu showed no reaction, maintaining his enigmatic smile. Lin Moyu continued,
You brought me here to use my abilities to inquire about some information.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
Not too dumb, that's about right. This is the 7th war zone, not belonging to any specific area.
Each war zone was divided into several areas. Each area had corresponding materials or unique places. Outside these areas, there were vast stretches of nameless void. In the nameless void, there was nothing, no materials, no substances, nothing at all, so naturally, no one would come here. Zhu Qiwu said,
A rat has escaped into this place. We finally discovered it this time, so we must catch it.
Lin Moyu's eyes flickered.
What did this rat steal? A star map.
Zhu Qiwu spoke lightly, but to Lin Moyu, it was no small matter. A star map, what kind of star map needed to be stolen? If it were an ordinary star map, there would be no need to steal it. It could be bought with points. For more detailed ones, military merits could be used to buy them, even dynamic star maps. So, the star map this rat stole must be extraordinary. Otherwise, Zhu Qiwu wouldn't need to act personally. Zhu Qiwu said,
In the demon race, there is a very peculiar race called the Bewitching Demon. The Bewitching Demon has no combat power, but they possess the power of bewitchment, which can manipulate minds. Moreover, those manipulated by them don't even know it.
Lin Moyu asked,
Is this rat manipulated by the Bewitching Demon?
Zhu Qiwu nodded.
An elder in the 7th fortress, named Hirinxing, a third-tier god, stole the military star map of the 7th fortress. It records the exact locations of the 1st to 7th star fortresses and the specific locations of various outpost bases.
Lin Moyu felt a chill. Even gods could be manipulated. No wonder Zhu Qiwu had to act personally. This was to prevent any mishaps. If the star map fell into the hands of the demon race, the star fortresses might still be fine due to their strong military presence. But how could so many outpost bases be defended? As far as Lin Moyu knew, the locations of the outpost bases were not chosen randomly. They formed a formation with their respective star fortresses. Changing their positions would be a massive project, affecting everything. Moreover, during the relocation process, they could easily be discovered. The military star map was of utmost importance and could not be lost. Lin Moyu was also puzzled.
Is it that easy to manipulate a god?
Zhu Qiwu's eyes showed a hint of disdain.
Gods are naturally not easy to manipulate. There has never been a case of a god being manipulated before. That's why we were caught off guard. After this incident, we will conduct a thorough investigation of all gods in the war zone to ensure that such things do not happen again.
Lin Moyu fell silent, pondering the issue. If such a thing had never happened before, it could only mean that the bewitching demon did not have the ability to manipulate gods. A god's soul reaches the 4th grade, comprehending the laws to 100%, merging with the Law Star River. Gods can mobilize the power of the Law Star River, their every move possessing immense power. Gods have firm minds and unwavering consciousness, making them difficult to sway. Manipulating a god is very difficult, harder than killing one. But the other party succeeded in manipulating one, making the bewitching demon extremely terrifying. Zhu Qiwu said,
I have dealt with the bewitching demon before and know their abilities. Manipulating a god is almost impossible. I suspect that he was already bewitched before becoming a god, becoming a pawn of the demon race. Only this explanation makes sense.
Lin Moyu thought Zhu Qiwu's reasoning made some sense, but it still seemed off. Even if the bewitching demon bewitched Hirinxing during his God King period, how could they know he would definitely become a god? And also enter the 7th fortress, gaining access to the star map. Zhu Qiwu also mentioned that some people wouldn't know they were bewitched. Lin Moyu understood this point, as it allowed for maximum concealment without being discovered. Otherwise, there would be some signs. The highest level of deception is to deceive oneself, treating the false as true, and this applies to infiltration as well. Could it be a broad strategy, seeing who succeeds? Unless the bewitching demon bewitched a large number of god kings, it wouldn't make sense. But even then, god kings are not easily bewitched. So what is the real situation? Is there another hidden truth? Lin Moyu thought of something.
I once encountered someone with a restriction planted in their soul, making it impossible to ask certain questions.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
I anticipated that. I brought a treasure this time that can temporarily shield soul restrictions. Although the time is short, it's enough to ask some questions. I'm also very curious about how he was bewitched.
Not only Zhu Qiwu was curious, but Lin Moyu was also very curious. After thousands of jumps, the warship finally stopped in a pitch-black starry sky. This was a void starry sky with nothing in sight. The distant starlight was too dim to illuminate this place. Zhu Qiwu took out an item and whispered,
We've arrived.
1,231,230. Chapter 1230. The rat is always afraid of light. The two left the warship, and Zhu Qiwu waved his hand to put the warship away, while an object appeared in his other hand. It was a round ball, the size of a fist, emitting a brilliant golden glow. Dense and complex patterns were engraved on its surface, exuding a strong aura of the flame laws. Lin Moyu knew this was a flame law treasure. Zhu Qiwu's gaze searched around, as if looking for something. Lin Moyu still had doubts in his mind.
Senior Zhu, since you know He-Rinching is hiding here, why don't you just kill him directly? With your abilities, killing him should not be difficult.
Zhu Qiwu said.
Killing him is indeed not difficult, but the hard part is finding out the location of the star map. He has hidden the star map, and no one else knows where it is.
Lin Moyu asked doubtfully.
Then you can capture him alive, interrogate him, or search his soul. There must be a way to find the result.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
It's simple to kill a god, but capturing one alive is difficult. If I really wanted to capture him alive, he would most likely self-detonate, leaving his soul and flesh completely destroyed. And he must have passed the location of the star map to the demon race, and it must be somewhere in this void space. This incident happened half a year ago, and he has been hiding here for the past half year, with demons occasionally coming by. But we killed the demons beforehand, though we can't guard against thieves forever, and the demons will eventually succeed one day.
Lin Moyu asked further.
Then if you didn't have my technique, what would you have done? If I didn't have you.
Zhu Qiwu glanced at Lin Moyu.
If I didn't have you, we would have used some methods to completely destroy this void space.
Lin Moyu was startled, staring at Zhu Qiwu in disbelief. He didn't know how large this void space was, but he was certain it was not small. It must be at least thousands of billions of kilometers, and the structure of the great world was three-dimensional. Such a method of destroying the void space even gods could not accomplish. Zhu Qiwu laughed.
Don't believe me? In fact, we didn't want to use such a strategic level method either. The cost would be too great, and most of the time, it would not be worth it. And once this method is used, there will be many after effects.
If there really was no other way to prevent the military star map from falling into the hands of the demon race, the human race would definitely spare no cost to launch a devastating attack on this void space. Now that Lin Moyu had appeared, he saw hope. If Lin Moyu's technique could not achieve the desired effect, and He-Rinching had already been killed, then the only option left would be to destroy the void space. To destroy the void space along with the star map, rather than let it fall into the hands of the demon race. Zhu Qiwu was still fiddling with the round ball in his hand. Lin Moyu's eyes flickered as he pondered every word Zhu Qiwu had said. He was almost certain that the military star map taken by He-Rinching was not a simple matter. Zhu Qiwu finally activated the round ball in his hand. The ball burst into raging flames, emanating a dazzling golden light. It slowly rose from Zhu Qiwu's palm, radiating scorching light. The starry sky was illuminated, and the surrounding temperature rose sharply. The ball rapidly expanded in the flames, transforming into a massive fireball over 1,000 kilometers in diameter.
This is a star.
Lin Moyu was slightly startled, not expecting Zhu Qiwu to produce a star. Zhu Qiwu explained,
This is not a real star, but rather an artificial star. It has sealed enough stellar fire within, aided by formations, to temporarily serve as a star. Later, you will learn that in the great world, there are many dark races hiding in the shadows, like rats in a sewer. Only the brightest and purest light can burn and scorch these sewer rats to death.
Lin Moyu listened to Zhu Qiwu's words, which sounded like a chant, sensing a deep hatred within them. Zhu Qiwu seemed to harbor a profound hatred towards those dark races lurking in the shadows, as well as those who betrayed the human race. This hatred stemmed from the depths of his heart, deeply rooted and profound. Lin Moyu became curious about Zhu Qiwu's past. He and Zhu Qiwu gazed at this artificial star. The star grew brighter, and the flames on its surface became more intense. Apart from the pure and concentrated flame laws, Lin Moyu also sensed another profound law hidden within the flames, a law he had never encountered before, yet incredibly powerful. This law seemed to possess consciousness, concealed within the flames, shrouded in mystery. Zhu Qiwu murmured,
Rat, come out now!
Lin Moyu felt that Zhu Qiwu seemed a bit different today, unlike his previous encounters. Less than 3 seconds after Zhu Qiwu's words, a blazing flame suddenly ignited in the darkness 10 million kilometers away. Then, a soul-wrenching scream rang out, and a figure ran out from the raging flames. His entire body was enveloped in fire, his aura surging, but he could not extinguish the flames. He screamed incessantly, clearly in excruciating pain. Lin Moyu found it strange. He-wrenching was a god, and such flames should not be able to harm him. Yet his pain did not seem feigned. Moreover, this pain seemed familiar to Lin Moyu. The soul. Lin Moyu was startled. He finally understood that the flames were not only burning his flesh but also his soul. Zhu Qiwu wore a cold smile.
The sewer rat is always afraid of light.
His figure vanished, and in the next moment, he appeared before He-wrenching, striking him with 10 palms. He-wrenching let out a terrified scream.
You can't kill.
Before he could finish, his body was torn into 4 or 5 pieces. Lin Moyu saw He-wrenching's soul, which was being burned by the flames. Even if a god's physical body is destroyed, relying solely on the soul, they can still exist in the world. Reshaping the physical body is not difficult for a god. However, He-wrenching's soul was like a bubble, instantly shattering and dissipating. Lin Moyu saw it clearly. Zhu Qiwu did not take any action. His strikes, though fierce, were measured. He only destroyed He-wrenching's physical body but did not harm his soul. He-wrenching's soul self-destructed due to some special reason. Zhu Qiwu explained,
This is the despicable nature of the bewitching demon. Those who are bewitched, if their physical body is destroyed, their soul will also be destroyed. And if the soul becomes aware of the danger, it will also self-destruct. Even putting the soul into a coma is useless. This is equivalent to a restriction that is difficult to break. We do have methods to temporarily block this restriction, but soul searching will also be affected, and the information obtained will be minimal, or even wrong.
Lin Moyu nodded.
Leave it to me, I should be able to get the answer.
He summoned an undying flame, enveloping He-wrenching's freshly deceased flesh and blood. The flesh and blood reorganized in the flames, and in an instant, He-wrenching's physical body was reborn. Immediately after, his soul aura emanated from his body, and his soul began to regenerate as well. When He-wrenching knelt before Lin Moyu nodded slightly towards Zhu Qiwu. Zhu Qiwu immediately took out a magic stone, the kind often used by demons, and a strange chant emanated from the magic stone. 1231. Chapter 1231. If you don't speak, then what am I asking for? The book's strange monotony made Lin Moyu's back feel slightly chilly. This was something belonging to the demon race. How could Zhu Qiwu be using something from the demon race? If Lin Moyu didn't know Zhu Qiwu well, he would have thought Zhu Qiwu had some connection with the demon race. Items from the demon race could only be used by demons. For humans, even if they obtained them, they would just be melted down and remade, having no real use. Zhu Qiwu murmured softly,
This is the magic core of the bewitching demon. We captured a live bewitching demon, refined it, and left the magic core. The magic core can bewitch souls, but its effect is not as good as the bewitching demon itself. However, it is quite effective for temporarily lifting soul-level restrictions.
Lin Moyu exclaimed.
This thing must be very precious.
He Chui know that.
The bewitching demon is already rare and hides very deeply. Capturing them alive is not easy. The key is that this thing is one-time use. Once used, it's gone. It is indeed very precious.
This time, to get the military star map from He Renqing, the human race had indeed paid a lot. The magic core was activated, emitting a peculiar tone, similar to the murmurs of the bewitching demon, like an inexplicable incantation. The bewitching sound, controlled by Zhu Qiwu, drilled into He Renqing's soul world. Lin Moyu ordered He Renqing not to resist and to fully accept the bewitching sound. The resurrected He Renqing's pupils became dilated. Zhu Qiwu gave Lin Moyu a look.
Time is short, at most 2 minutes.
Lin Moyu immediately asked,
Where did you hide the military star map?
He Renqing's pupils showed obvious signs of struggle, but after a few seconds, they became confused and chaotic again. He murmured,
In area 7 to 77, in the center of the black hole.
Suddenly, He Renqing's voice stopped, and his eyes regained clarity. A voice that did not belong to the human race came from his mouth.
So it's in area 7 to 77, thank you.
As the words fell, He Renqing's pupils completely lost their light, and his soul dissipated. In the next second, his body also turned to dust. With a bang, the bewitching magic core in Zhu Qiwu's hand turned to dust. A one-time item, it had completed its mission. Zhu Qiwu's face became extremely ugly.
Wrong, it was all wrong.
Lin Moyu looked at him, guessing what went wrong. But with too little information, it was hard to make an accurate judgment. Zhu Qiwu said,
Originally, he hadn't leaked the information. The bewitching demon left a backdoor in his soul. When he revealed the true location, the bewitching demon would know. No wonder he said I couldn't kill him. He knew we would interrogate his soul. It turns out he was resisting all along and hadn't completely betrayed us.
Zhu Qiwu sighed repeatedly, his tone filled with helplessness, but his eyes were full of hatred. From Zhu Qiwu's words, Lin Moyu roughly understood the cause and effect. He Renqing was indeed controlled by the bewitching demon, but not completely. He stole the military star map, but as a member of the human race, he was also resisting. He hid the military star map and only he knew the location. He hadn't told the demon race. But Zhu Qiwu thought He Renqing had already told the demon race the location of the military star map and that it was in this nameless void. Recently, they had indeed killed many demons nearby. This further confirmed Zhu Qiwu's judgment. But unexpectedly, all these judgments were wrong. The demons that came were not there to retrieve the military star map, but to find He Renqing, hoping to learn the true location of the military star map from him. This led to the misunderstanding. He Renqing also knew that the high-level humans must have means to extract information from his soul. But the bewitching demon's methods were equally formidable. When the humans learned the information, the bewitching demon would also know simultaneously and could even control his life and death in a short time. All these wrong judgments led to the current situation. He Renqing's last words.
You can't kill me.
It wasn't that he was afraid of death, but that he didn't want the true location of the military star map to be leaked. The dangers of the great world and the strangeness of the demon race, he had only seen a small part of it. Zhu Qiwu said,
Let's go back.
He waved his hand, and the warship appeared beside them. Lin Moyu and he quickly boarded the warship. The warship jumped through space towards the distance. This was the nameless void, and Zhu Qiwu couldn't transmit information back. But the demon race used their methods to get the location of the star map, and the human race had already lost the initiative. Lin Moyu asked,
Are the bewitching demons' methods really that terrifying?
Zhu Qiwu shook his head.
Ordinary bewitching demons are not that terrifying. As I said before, it's almost impossible to bewitch a god. But if those few guys take action, it's hard to say. The demon race dares to break the agreement. This matter must be reported and won't be easily resolved.
Lin Moyu didn't say much. When Zhu Qiwu mentioned those few guys, his eyes showed not only hatred but also a hint of caution. Obviously, those few guys were very terrifying, even posing a threat to Zhu Qiwu. And Zhu Qiwu mentioned they broke the agreement. What agreement was that? Lin Moyu wisely didn't ask. Zhu Qiwu looked at Lin Moyu strangely.
Aren't you usually very curious? Why aren't you asking this time?
Lin Moyu also looked at Zhu Qiwu.
If I ask, will you tell me? Of course not.
Zhu Qiwu answered decisively. Lin Moyu chuckled.
Then there's no point in asking. I'd rather guess on my own.
Zhu Qiwu laughed.
Go ahead and guess.
About half an hour later, Zhu Qiwu suddenly closed his eyes. The laws here began to become orderly, slightly less chaotic. Lin Moyu could feel the changes in the laws in the starry sky. A few seconds later, Zhu Qiwu opened his eyes again.
All right, I've sent the message back. The human army will immediately move towards Area 7 to 77.
Lin Moyu knew that the Zhu Qiwu in front of him was just an avatar. The real Zhu Qiwu should be stationed at Fortress Number 1. The avatar and the main body could communicate with each other, but the chaotic laws in the nameless void had cut off this connection. When the laws became slightly more orderly, Zhu Qiwu sent the information back to his main body. But half an hour had already passed, and the human race had lost half an hour of the initiative. For the military, half an hour of initiative could sometimes determine victory or defeat. It was imaginable that the demon race, upon obtaining the military star map, would immediately dispatch their army to attack Area 7 to 77. Lin Moyu asked,
Is there still time?
Zhu Qiwu snorted.
It should be in time, and it must be in time. If not, then we can only proceed to the second step.
As he spoke, a strong killing intent surged from his body. The killing intent was so intense that even Lin Moyu, who mastered the laws of slaughter, was somewhat shocked.
Second step? Is it to destroy Area 7 to 77?
1232, 1232.